Hello. Okay. What a beautiful night for a graduation ceremony. Good evening, everyone. I was completely surprised by the invitation to speak to these amazing young graduates, but I'm so grateful to be Zooming before you tonight to do so. So thank you, Michaela and graduates, for giving me this opportunity. And at this time, I'd like to introduce the graduates. Lauren Benke. Zoe Euchner. Ethan Hurley. Michaela Skelton. Brianna Vang. Michaela Wilby. Maisie Wilhelms. Ramsey Wolfel. So little do you all know that on this exact day, June 4th, but 28 years ago, I was donning the cardinal cap and gown myself and going through my own graduation ceremony at Goodrich High School. Now I stand before this wonderful group of graduates via Zoom from the class of 2020, 28 years later, ready to do the same thing. Obviously, when I was asked to do this, I was like, oh gosh, now I needed to put a little speech together. And of course, I've been thinking about it like crazy, and I fear it got a little longer than hoped. But when I think of the class of 2020, there are two things that come to mind. And I think it's important for us to think about them for a moment, to reflect on where these students have been and knowing that they are ready for all that lies ahead. And those two things are change and resilience. Change. These graduates were born immediately post 9/11, 9/11, if not just before. That was a life-altering event for us in the US, and with it came significant changes, from homeland security to an increase in defense, and changes at the airport, to name a few. But with these changes came frustration and then acceptance, because we knew we had to do what was right to protect our country and our freedoms. And I believe we saw a greater sense of patriotism in our country. And with that patriotism, I like to think that these young children, babies, were born at a time when the strength of love for each other, our neighbors and friends, and a respect for those who had to work so hard to provide the securities that we have as a nation have been instilled in them. Resilience. Change. These graduates were born in the age of our digital boom. Yes, there were cell phones, but not yet smartphones, or iPads and iPods, or tablets, or smart TVs and appliances, or smart homes. And I like to think that this change has resulted in a group of young people who know how to be very resourceful, yet determined to seek more, yet, may expect efficiency. Resilience. Change. As these graduates began their elementary years, our country experienced a strong recession, which we hadn't seen in decades. And at such an impressionable age, and always listening to their families' conversations, or the news in the background, or outside conversations about the pains of pricing and lost jobs and homes, I like to think that these graduates have learned how to respond and handle the unforeseen challenges that lie ahead, and hopefully have instilled a greater sense of financial literacy. Resilience. Change. As these graduates continued through high school, and our country saw an increase in violence and hostility in our schools with our very own young people, This resulted in a new education about safety in the form of lockdown drills and active threats. And I like to think that these graduates have learned the importance of having a greater sense of preparedness in all areas of their life, and that they will look out for each other and their neighbors. Resilience. Change. St. Patty's Day was supposed to be a day of wearing green and eating chocolate mint dilly bars from the Cardinal's Nest for all students at Fond du Lac High School. But instead, it was day one of the COVID-19 break. What was expected to last a couple of weeks quickly marked an end to the traditional school year as we know it, changing not only the academic lives of these seniors, but it cut them short of what all previous graduates before them have come to celebrate and love about being a senior. And that's when we all learned Zoom. But there was never a moment that the staff of Fond du Lac High School, and I truly mean a moment because I know for me, my computer was probably only able to get about 8 hours of sleep a day. But all the other schools around the world, we didn't forget about our students, especially our seniors, and we needed to celebrate with you. From senior class sign deliveries to our little videos via Cardinal TV News and to all the Zoom sessions in between, we wanted to make the COVID-19 break not only memorable, but hopefully less painful for all of you. And I like to think that with all of this, you've learned how to better manage your learning, your deadlines, your goals, and find even more ways to motivate yourself to reach those accomplishments and achieve success. Because look at you now. You are here and ready to graduate. Resilience. Graduates, at this time, I'd like you all to return to the stage. Okay. The tassel on the cap is a symbol of the graduate. Worn on the right, it symbolizes every moment until now. Worn on the left, it symbolizes a graduate. Students, you are now graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to the graduated class of 2020. Congratulations, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. King.
Thank you. Of course. Have fun.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.